we go, guys. The main event of N60 Mania. Ssundee and Crainer taking on Mr. and Timmy Terror. The final chapter in our season. A saga that is run all the way from towards the end of last season when Ssundee was brainwashed by Timmy Terror and Mr. He was like their little manslave for a while, and despite various attempts by many characters to try and free Ssundee from his captors, it was his good buddy Mr. Crainer who finally was able to administer the cure to bring Ssundee back to his old self. And now Crainer was the guy who freed Ssundee, but can Ssundee and Crainer be the guys who finally end the reign of terror of Mr. and Timmy Terror, who have been pretty much destroying everybody in their paths, from Dan TDM to Jacksepticeye to Markiplier to poor old Dr. Trayaurus. But can Crundee be the ones to take the tag team championships, the symbol of Timmy Terror and Mr.'s power? Can they take those titles and do essentially what no other team has been able to do throughout this series? And here they come, Mr. and Timmy Terror, who won the tag team championships by brainwashing Ssundee, causing Ssundee to turn on his partner, Popular MMOs, and then essentially stealing the tag team championships. And Ssundee believes that by rights, those tag team championships should belong to him anyway. But this isn't going to be as easy as just snatching a couple of championships from a normal pair of wrestlers. These two are bad news. And this ain't no fairy tale. This is N60 Sean wrestling, so a happy ending is not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, as Shenwu takes those tag team championships from Mr. and Timmy Terror. The championships being held high aloft as the Hell in a Cell structure descends from above. The cell structure which is being used to keep Mr. and Timmy Terror's various henchmen from interfering in this one. And now it's all kicking off. Months and months of resentment and revenge which has been building up between Ssundee, Crainer and Terror 887. Revenge which spilled out at the end of a handicap match as Ssundee and Crainer couldn't wait to N60 Mania and sprung an attack on Timmy Terror and Mr. And now this is going to be a fight. There's going to be no tags, there's no disqualification, it's no holds barred. It's inside Hell in a Cell, Satan's structure, the Devil's Playground. It goes by many names, but one thing's for sure, that this match is going to be absolute brutality. But is it going to be the sort of brutality that is going to see Ssundee and Crainer holding tag team championships, or are they ultimately going to be another pair of victims to add to the long list of people dominated by Mr. and Timmy Terror? Crainer went for that springboard like tope thing, but Mr. managed to dodge it, and Timmy Terror's got a baseball bat, and oh my days, he just smacked Ssundee in the back of the head with a baseball bat, causing his head to bounce off the steel chain link, and then he just smacked him in the back of the head with a disgusting thud with the baseball bat. And look at this, Mr. just slapping the taste out of Crainer's mouth, and now Timmy Terror is stalking Ssundee with a sledgehammer, but Ssundee managing to just weld those steel steps just in time to ward off Timmy Terror. Steel steps to the knees of Timmy Terror. We saw that attack to the knee strategy used quite successfully by Ownwrecker, but this ain't going to be a technical style match, guys. This is going to be a brawl. And a switch around by Crainer. We're going for that patented neck breaker, but Mr. wriggled out of it and took down Crainer in the middle of the ring. Front face lock now. Ssundee now trying to get into the ring to try and help his buddy, but Crainer goes for the ride for a suplex at the hands of Mr. Teardrop suplex from Ssundee, dropping Mr. on the back of his head. And now Ssundee gets taken down with an arm drag. Timmy Terror incapacitated at ringside. And Mr. went for those slaps, but Ssundee with a shot to the midsection. Crainer now going to try and head off Timmy Terror, but gets thrown like a rag doll across the ringside area. Running power slam by Mr. And now we've got a bad situation for Ssundee, who almost was in a double team situation, but Mr. deciding to go to the outside of the ring to work over Mr. Crainer. Big boots of Timmy Terror, the sheep mask wearing madman, choking the life out of Ssundee, and Mr. Mister rolling into the ring, who smells of leather and bad secrets, and gets taken down with like a rock bottom move from Crainer. Crainer now just dipping and dodging, trying to dodge Timmy Terror's savagery, but gets taken down with a big boot in the middle of the ring. It was a nice little effort of Crainer trying to use his agility, and now Timmy Terror on the outside of the ring. Mr. Mister's gone for a cover here, but it was a kick out at two, and Mr. Ssundee just stamping on the shins. And oh wait, hang on, bad news. Timmy Terror's got a steel chair shot to the head of Mr. Crainer, and two chair shots, like gunshots, taking down both of Crundee. And Ssundee asked for this Hell in a Cell match. He asked N60 Shaw to book this Hell in a Cell match because of the constant interference from the masked men, and just because he wanted a fiendish scenario to get his revenge on Mr. Mister and Timmy Terror. Is that going to backfire? But no, a DDT catching Timmy Terror on the chair, but Crainer goes for a choke slam anyway. Ssundee now throwing Mr. Mister outside of the ring to try and get a little bit of respite for his body, who's just been winded by that choke slam. Mr. Crainer using the ropes to try and assist him getting up. Timmy Terror sent sprawling into the chain link. Ssundee now up top. A high risk of Ssundee, the controlled frenzy, a double axe handle right to the sheep mask of Timmy Terror. And now Crainer and Mr. Mister in a slugfest on the outside. And now Ssundee with a sledgehammer. Right on those kidneys, man. Working the internal organs with that hammer, using his kidney like a whack-a-mole. And now Mr. Mister getting back up and now just beating the ever-loving tar out of Ssundee on the outside of the ring. Ssundee sent into the corner now. Right hand to Mr. Mister. Ssundee sent through the cell. And now there is a gap in that cell. The security and the sanctity of the cell has been breached. It's been besmirched by Timmy Terror, which could mean a whole lot of bad things. Timmy Terror and Ssundee on the outside. Ssundee trying to get away from Timmy Terror with a fireman's carry, sending him back into the cell structure, but Sundee's going up. Ssundee climbing up to the top of the Hell in a Cell structure. And now Timmy Terror giving chase. The Fun Kids commentators looking nervous down below. And Crainer and Mr. Mister are fighting inside the cell, while Ssundee and Timmy Terror have gone up to the top of the cell, and now Ssundee is brawling with Timmy Terror. And wait, hang on, the BFT from Crainer, one of his signature manoeuvres, taking down Mr. Mister. Great strategy. Maybe Ssundee thought luring Timmy Terror up to the top of the cell might have been giving Crainer an opportunity to maybe get this one. Timmy Terror teetering on the outside. Crainer looking for the crane maker. He hits it, Crainer, with his finishing manoeuvre. If he can get the cover in, we could have new tag team champs. Shenwu with the count. 1, 2. And Mr. Mister just kicking out at 2. And maybe this was a strategy of Crundee to try and separate Timmy Terror and Mr. Mister. Or maybe so Crainer's on the outside going for a springboard frog splash. But Mr. Mister blocks it, and I do not like what is happening up here. And a modified version of the little Timmy Terror's finishing manoeuvre. And is that ascent to the Hell in a Cell roof going to backfire on Ssundee? An elbow to the back of his head. Timmy Terror with Ssundee hooks up on top of the cell, and the cell roof is given way, but Ssundee and Mr. Mister and Timmy Terror, didn't actually go through the roof. Mr. Mister sent into the corner. And now right hands in a really dangerous position here. Ssundee in huge trouble. Irish whip, and Timmy Terror. Timmy Terror's gone through the ceiling. And Ssundee proud of himself. Timmy Terror is right back up. And oh my goodness, business is kicking off. Big problems for Crundee. Crainer's going for his last ride, and Timmy Terror has morphed into boss mode, the Armoured Butcher. And this is all bad news. This has all gone wrong for Crundee, as Mr. Mister now climbing to the outside, maybe to go and try and hunt down Ssundee. Crainer now valiantly trying to tame Timmy Terror, hitting desperately his signature manoeuvres to try and take down the Armoured Butcher. Mr. Mister now is climbed up to the top of this cage. Ssundee diving at him, but with doesn't really have any effect. Right hands to the size and strength of Mr. Mister, and they're just bouncing off of him. He can't even take him off his feet. Crainer planted with a DDT from Timmy Terror. Ssundee again just trying to throw himself at Mr. Mister, trying to maybe knock him off the side of the cell. And that falling uppercut to Crainer. And oh no, Timmy Terror is going to try and get himself a piece of Ssundee. Timmy Terror getting outside the structure. And oh, if I was Ssundee, man, imagine this thing climbing up your wall at night and like climbing in your window or something weird like that. And just seeing this thing climb at you. Ssundee just trying to like do everything he can. Sundee's fighting for his life here. And now he's got just absolutely taking out Timmy Terror, who is in boss mode. Crainer now. Crainer coming up on. Now everybody's going to be on the roof. This is going to end in tears for someone. Terror and Ssundee battling and getting ever so close to the edge. Crainer now looking to take down Mr. Mister. Hits him with a DDT. And Timmy Terror wobbling on the side of the cage. A right hand from Ssundee. And Timmy Terror, this could be bad news for someone. And Ssundee with a super kick, sending Timmy Terror flying off the side of a Hell in a Cell. A huge super kick, sending Timmy Terror falling about 25 feet. And oh, something almost went off the edge himself then. And Mr. Mister now is probably fighting this one all alone, because Timmy Terror, despite being in boss mode, is just taking a plunge off the side of the cell. And Mr. Mister looking like he's tearing, and he falls straight into the ring, courtesy of Ssundee as well. Terror 887 have taken two huge bumps here. Mr. Mister in the middle of the ring. Ssundee going for the diving elbow drop, his finishing move in the middle of the ring. Surely this has got to be it. New tag team champs. Ssundee hooks the leg. That's 1, 2. But oh, Mr. Mister just kicking out at the count of 2. And oh, Timmy Terror is up. Timmy Terror is back up, and he's just marauded through Crainer. And it just looks like the more... Oh, it's Ssundee. Sit down, Timmy Terror. You are not coming back in with some sort of horror villain-esque character resurgence, because Ssundee is going to sit you down with a solid steel chair, and Ssundee has gone berserk with the steel chair shots. Crainer going up top now. Terror 887 looking the most vulnerable they've looked in the entire series. Flying moonsault by Crainer. Ssundee looking for his top rope elbow drop. His finishing manoeuvre. Hits it into the back of Mr. Mister. Takes down Timmy Terror. Once again, beats him down in the throat. Once again, going up top for that diving elbow. Ssundee with his finishing manoeuvre. Oh, and he goes for Mr. Mister. Jumps over boss mode Timmy Terror. Hooks the leg. That's 1, 2. And we've got new tag team champions. Crundee finally defeating and ending the reign of terror of Mr. Mister and Timmy Terror, and finally taking those tag team championships and finally getting their final revenge over Terror 887 for everything that they put them through throughout this season. And Ssundee and Crainer stand tall, holding their tag team championships aloft. Guys, that is the end of the season. That is the end of N60 Mania. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I think it's probably been my favourite season so far. The way that all of this stuff has grown has been amazing. The fact we're almost on 90,000 subscribers is also nonsense. Thank you so much for all your support throughout this season. Big thanks to Timmy Terror and Mr. Mister, the guys who are behind those characters. Great characters. And yeah, this has been a silly season, but we will be back. When the next season will start, I'm not sure, but we're going to probably just do a couple more like little matches. You know, when we did like the pre-season before, we'll probably do a few more matches, a few little silly bits and pieces before the next season starts. What's the theme going to be? What's going to happen? I'll keep you guys posted as well, and leave your thoughts for next season in the comments as well. Thank you guys again. I'm going to stop rambling now. We will be back on Sunday with more Sonic Mania, post N60 Mania, Sonic Mania, and then back with more WWE videos on Monday as well. Thank you guys. You are all excellent. This has been really fun. You're all amazing. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.